Lyra Torrent tasted her first gale on the 13th of November, 1996, inside a cedar cabin clinic perched above the cobalt surf of Oregon's Cape Foul weather. Outside, gray whales breached through rain mist, while her mother, a traveling blues guitarist who always tucked lavender sprigs in her fret bag, rolled quiet, pentatonic riffs across the cradle. Her father, a lighthouse lens polisher who sketched comet maps on tide-logged paper, leaned so near their noses brushed and promised his daughter that every storm shifts for anyone who spreads both arms and refuses to shrink. Curves ripple through the Torrent clan the way rip currents score basalt shelves, so nobody flinched when baby Lyra burst. 2 flannel wraps before dawn cracked the horizon. Grandma Hollis loosened each seam with a fishhook needle, filled the gaps with remnants of canvas sails, and chuckled that new yardage costs pennies, while the price of teaching a child to fold herself smaller can be her brightest future. Grade school corridors smelled of wet wool and chalk dust. Lyra already stood a head taller and a shoulder wider than classmates, blotting the overhead bulb whenever she traced multiplication tables on the blackboard. One gusty recess, 2 kids bounced around her chanting, "Crab boat barge," while she hopped chalk squares. That night, she combed the high tide rack and rescued soda caps polished bright by surf, threaded them on fishing line into a gleaming backbone, and stitched the spine down her navy cardigan. When the bell rang next morning, weak sun scattered silver constellations across ceiling tiles, and a substitute teacher captured 8 seconds on a disposable camcorder. By sunrise, 18,000 strangers had applauded the girl who flipped mockery into lighthouse sparkle. Lyra inked one vow on her notebook: when clouds crowd the coastline, toss mirrors until the wind shifts. Weekend hours belonged to Yakina Bay Pier, where her mother's slide guitar licks tangled with the hiss of battered crab cookers. Rack jeans stopped at her thighs, so Lyra traded busking quarters for frayed feed sacks, cut them into high-rising trousers, sprayed puffin silhouettes with squid ink dye, then posed at sunset against rusted cleats as a friend snapped grainy phone shots. She opened a photo log called Gale Lantern right when a new picture app crapped along patchy coastal data. Captions danced between Oregon slang and honest English truths like curves more storms, stronger than jetties. Before 17 rolled in, 56,000 unseen friends tapped hearts on every golden hour frame. Proof that distant screens can hush cafeteria whispers. A marine science scholarship pulled her south to Humboldt State. Day hours dissolved in kelp genomics labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour chowder van lit by flickering neon gulls. The heat lamp became her makeshift key light. During lull minutes, she filmed 90-second reels, curling parchment bowls into poppy barrettes while explaining dart rotation in a voice blending tide hush with lecture crispness. One clip layered harbor seal chirps on a pocket sampler while she hand-stitched reflective rope inside thrift store denim. And 48 hours later, the reel skimmed past 1 million views. Pacific-style blogs crowned her the chowder couturier, though every brand email stopped at size 16. She slid each pitch into a folder labeled Shrinking Nets, wiped butterflecks from her cuff, and ladled another bowl of clam broth. A cold dawn in early 2023 blew her course wide. Rip Curl Women proposed a surf tech capsule named Storm Current. Lyra answered with 3 rock-steady terms, patterns scaling to 60-inch hips, half the production crew hired from West Coast community colleges, and 10% of profit directed toward replanting eelgrass beds, critical for juvenile salmon. Rip Curl signed while gulls still dozed on pier rails. The shoot unfolded on a fog-shrouded sandbar where pelicans skimmed swells, and Lyra coached curvy paddleboarders through glassy shoals while a drone traced sweeping arcs. When the lookbook launched, every extended size skin suit vanished. Within 41 hours, across 24 countries, Gale Lantern vaulted past 700,000 followers. Still scented with chowder steam, she ducked behind flour sacks, balanced her phone atop a salt bucket, and live-streamed tear-slick thanks beneath buzzing fluorescence. Listen, if that swell already lifts your ribcage, press subscribe now, so every new wave rolls straight into your feed before it touches any other shore. It is a single tap, no cost, and it keeps our boat lines tied. Spotlight glitter soon attracted rumor goals. A gossip vlog claimed Lyra cinched her waist in carbon shells between shoots. At sunrise, she paddled to a basalt stack, stood in sports bra and board shorts, traced every stretch line with crushed poppy chalk, and sang a blues phrase about bodies bracing North Pacific tempests. 10 million viewers reposted the feed, dubbing it poppy-proof, coloring their own outlines bright vermilion until gossip seeped below the tide line. Night shift stacks and capsule royalties churned into Torrent glow, a whipped body custard mixing seaweed butter, cranberry seed oil, and mica flecks that flash pearl in phone beams. 19,000 tins filled her father's lamp room, each lid tied with braided hemp cord and a card reading, "Moisturize your horizon." Stock vanished in 84 minutes, netting $193,000. 20% fueled breakwater beacon grants that ship heavy-duty surgers and travel recorders to plus-size teens in remote fishing towns, from Coos Bay to Port Angeles. 9 months later, 35 grantees streamed a floating fashion and sea sound pageant aboard a refurbished lifeboat under LED orca silhouettes, broadcast by local morning news. Portland Fashion Week etched new legend when a backstage fan slit her emerald mesh gown from rib to thigh 90 seconds before showtime. She borrowed neon anchor rope from a rigger, laced the slash like sneaker eyelets, and strode out as if the splice appeared in every draft. Flashes cracked like driftwood in Bonfire. Vogue Cascadia named the save Rope Cadence, and another million Lantern Voyagers surfaced before after-party synths tune. Sabotage tried again. It cut publicists leaked snippets alleging she demanded scalloped truffle poutine and chauffeured sail cats for her rescue harbor seal Pebble. Lyra posted the full email chain showing she had asked only for refillable water urns, mushroom pies for crew, and captioned monitors for deaf techs. That month's affiliate revenue, $136,000, funded biodegradable fishing line pilots in 3 harbors. Fans echoed her breakwater maxim, receipts gleam brighter than rumor silt, until the chatter drowned. By midsummer, Gale Lantern shimmered for 6.6 million Instagram hearts, 3.3 million real Voyagers, and 2 million Steadfast channel subscribers. Engagement settles at 10%, rewriting marketing textbooks. Cartier tapped her for topaz surge inside Cape Mere's lighthouse lens. She accepted once Cartier endowed therapy stipends for long cruise dazed by harsher winters. The finished clip, wrist-scattering amber shards across cast-iron ribs, became Cartier's most saved reel all season. Family keeps her compass center. Twice a month, she streams Bells and Biscuit, where her mother punches harp strings beside a sizzling cast-iron pan. Father reads star map haikus, and Lyra flips thrift jackets under string lights. One session crested 9 million views when Pebble flopped from a kiddie pool onto a sack of flour and sneezed powder at the lens. A rescue trust now sponsors each stream, tagging rehabilitated seals with solar trackers paid by Torrent Glow. Glow revenue drifted past 12 million before its second birthday. Lyra leased a silent sardine cannery, punched skylights through tin, and hired furloughed deckhands with fashion grads to whip and jar. Every tin still closes with a hemp knot pulled during midday stretch. Dances to harp bass remixes. Logistics consultants begged for shrink bands, but she repeated her mother's stage oath. Fingers guard legends long after machines forget and the knots remain. She threads mental wellness candor through every post, pairing Cliff Brink portraits with Chowder Van selfies, captioned "Same swell, different weather." Breath tracks recorded under basalt arches, reframing worksheets in English and Chinook jargon, and half-price therapy links drift across her page. More than 104,000 followers have enrolled, many calling her Shoreline Candor their first safe harbor. Community rides glow in crushed glass paint. Hundreds cycle the Esplanade at dusk wearing Torrent Glow on collarbones. and LED kelp fronds on spokes. Ticket profit deepens breakwater beacon and funds tide pool ramps for wheelchair users. Fishing shack diners stay open late when riders coast past because chowder sales pop 15%. Lyra pedals lead on a cruiser with pebble plush strapped to the basket, stopping to reknot any loose tote strap she spots. A memoir titled Current's Keep Names is sailing through edits now for 11-language release next winter. A streamer shadows her scheme to transform mothballed weather buoys into drifting maker labs for coastal high schools. Puma's wide-to-wave wave lantern sneakers, laced in reflective cord and cushioned with sea foam algae, launch next quarter, funneling 10% of revenue into Breakwater Beacon. Second reminder rises like foghorn, low and smooth. If you have traveled this far without pressing subscribe, let today be that brave inhale. A single click plants your anchor so tomorrow's tide greets you first. Slide into the description after finishing. Fresh Torrent Glow restocks shimmer there alongside the quick lane for Breakwater Beacon grants, tonight's Bells and Biscuit playlist, and a tucked-away compass, a research-rooted map of conversation cues and confidence rituals that can spark genuine connection and let the woman you dream about see dawn fire dancing in your smile. The sea of affection is wide, yet this chart never mispoints. Tap like if the soda cap spine, rope cadence rescue, or pebbles flower sneeze splashed a grin across your night. Then share your brightest wave in the comments and pass this voyage to a friend whose sails sag in stale air. Every curve redirects currents, every scar bends moonlight, and the Pacific bows to any soul bold enough to stand wide at cliff rim and greet tomorrow head on. Third and gentlest call drifts on offshore breeze. Subscribe now, claim your berth at the bow, and meet me when the next tide turns, glassy and another story gleams just beyond the break.